LLM hallucination looks harmless until your agent says something with consequences. Imagine a support bot asked, "Can I get a refund after 30 days?" It answers, "Yes, refunds are available for 60 days, in a calm, polished tone." The real policy says 14 days. There was no database lookup, no source, no verification step, just a large language model, or LLM, completing text that sounded like a policy. The scary part is not that it was weird. The scary part is that it was smooth, confident, and easy to ship if you only tested the happy path. The beginner version of an LLM application is usually one function: send the user's question to the model and print the answer. That is fine for experiments, but it breaks when the answer needs to be true. The model is not opening your policy document unless you explicitly give it that text or a tool that retrieves it. It is not checking a database unless you built that step, and it is not embarrassed when it lacks evidence. A fluent paragraph feels like work was done, so we accidentally treat style as validation. That is the naive failure. We ask for an answer when the system should first ask, "What would prove this?" Hallucination is not a switch you turn off with a better sentence in the prompt. It is connected to how generation works. The model predicts plausible next tokens based on patterns learned during training and the context you provide. Plausible is not the same as verified. A model can be correct, partially correct, or completely wrong, while sounding equally certain. Confidence and correctness are weakly related in normal LLM use. Overconfidence is not a special bug, it is a normal surface behavior. So the engineering posture is simple. Every unverified claim is a draft, never a fact. The system becomes reliable when facts come from sources, tools, tests, or human approval. Here is the shape I want you to remember. First, let the model draft an answer. Second, extract the factual claims from that draft. Third, verify each claim against something external, provided context, a local file, a database, or a deterministic function. Fourth, only act when the verification passes. In code, the function names can be boring. Draft answer question, extract claims answer, verify claims sources, and final response verified claims. The important part is the boundary. The draft function is allowed to be creative. The verifier is not. The verifier returns statuses like supported, unsupported, or missing evidence. Your agent should not treat missing evidence as true just because the sentence reads well. Let us use a beginner scenario, a local policy helper reading one file named policy.txt. The user asks, "Can I return an item after 30 days? The naive bot answers from memory. The safer bot loads policy.txt, sends only that context with the question, and asks the model to answer using that source. Then it asks for a structured result: answer, claims, and citations. If the file says, "returns accepted within 14 days, the final answer can say, "No, the policy says 14 days. If the file does not mention returns, the correct response is not a guess. It is, "I do not have enough information in the provided policy." Now, the honest limits. Wording sensitivity is real. Ask the same question as, "Is this allowed?" and then as, "Find the exception that allows this," and you may get different answers. Long horizon plans also drift. If you ask an agent to plan 20 steps and execute them without checkpoints, small assumptions compound. Short bounded steps stay more honest because each step can be inspected. Retrieval can also fail. The right document may be missing, stale, or badly chunked. And a model-based verifier is still a model, not a court of truth. Use deterministic checks where possible, and use model judgment as one signal, not the foundation. This connects directly to agent design. An agent is not just a prompt with a personality. It has a goal, a role, tools, permissions, state, and termination rules. Hallucination posture affects all of those. The goal should include accuracy constraints, not just helpfulness. Tools should provide access to real evidence. State should track what is known, what is assumed, and what is unsupported. Permissions should prevent the agent from taking expensive or risky actions on drafts. Termination should include stopping when evidence is missing. In the next skills, prompt engineering and structured outputs will help us make these boundaries explicit instead of hoping the model behaves. Here is a safe 10-minute exercise on your own machine. Create a text file called policy.txt with 5 simple rules, including one refund rule. Write a small script that reads the file and asks the model 3 versions of the same question: direct, vague, and leading. For each response, log the exact question, the answer, and the sentence from policy.txt that supports it. If there is no supporting sentence, mark the answer unsupported. You do not need a fancy framework or third-party target. The lesson is to watch how phrasing changes output. Then practice refusing to promote unsupported text into a final answer. 3 beats to keep. First, hallucination is part of how LLM generation behaves, not a magic setting you disable forever. Second, confidence is not correctness. A wrong answer can sound polished, specific, and certain. Third, agent reliability comes from posture. Draft, verify, then act. Keep steps short, track evidence, and stop when proof is missing. That is how we move from impressive demos to systems we can defend. New Agent Foundations episode, daily. Building from first prompt to a working agent. If you want the deeper production patterns, the paid libraries and extended material are at aislabs.ai.